quick. All right, so up front here, you got your front handle. You know, when you're on the wheel cart and stuff like that, go ahead and grab it, 2 hands, but you don't want to suspend it from the ceiling at all. You have straps to go around the kayak if you want to hang it up that way instead of hanging from here. Front hatch here, you got bungees on both sides, like that. Pop right off. And then you got the front hatch here. This is just the rest of the extra accessories that come with the PA. Cup holder, 2 rod racks, one's already on the back there. And then this is the cassette plug that I'll go over with the drive right there. And these are just extra pieces. Once you put the fish finder on, this will be your bumper for your fish finder. If you wanted to take this bucket out, a lot of guys, you know, they have plates on these now. You know, Tim Percy plate was one of them. The other one's from One Objective, that's the one I have. You put all kinds of accessories on there for all your wiring, lights, yak power systems, all that good stuff. Or you can just use this as a battery holder. Hobie makes a mount for a battery holder right there. So you got the rod tubes right here. On each side here, you got 3 on the PA-14. Rod butts locked in the back with those rod racks right there. Best boat there is, let me just add that. So you saw that post on the inside there. This is a sail post, also for a bimini top. Right here, gear tracks on each side. H-rails go all the way down. All the H-rail attachments are gonna lock in and come off just like that. Your cup holder is going to be the same. My ram ball that I put on for my fish finder up here will be the same. Just pop it in and then lock it. Those are the through hole ports for your fish finder wires, any light accessory wires. You can easily do that with those grommets that come with the boat. So I'm going to cover all this stuff. I'll start on this side. It is labeled for you. So you got kickstand right there. And what that's going to control is the bottom of the seat. If I'm on the water, it gets really, really rough, I want to drop the seat down, I'll lean forward in the chair a little bit, pull that, and that's going to have that go back, drop that down. With the seat here, I'm going to use this, push forward and rotate inwards towards you. This is a more stable platform. If you want to go back up, literally it's spring loaded, just a few turns like that. This is the more comfortable fishing position. So right here you got Skeg. PA-14s as well as the 12s have a Skeg board. Choppy water, you want to put that down, but if you're going a mile out, you don't want to mess with the steering as much. And the main thing is just to have this being pulled out of the cleat like that. When you go to pull it up, put it in the cleat first, and then go up the rest of the way. You'll hear it thud up in the back. You don't need to pull it like a chainsaw at all. Okay. So it's just easy. Down, up. We'll go to the rudder now. Rudder is dropped already on this side. Spring loader to kick down. That way if you do hit anything in shallow water, it's just gonna kick up. Oh. I beat the crap out of mine. Yeah. It still goes, dude. And it springs right back down. Yep, okay. Yep. Just don't go in reverse hitting it. That's where you do the damage. But anything forward, you know, you're all good. I'll go ahead and pull that back up. Right here is the transducer. So this is actually a rope for the guardian plate. And right now it's not rigged up. It's just tied off right in here right now. There is a pulley. That rope's gonna come down, wrap around the pulley, go down, and then tie to another rope on top of that guardian plate. One last thing with the guardian plate, there's 3 screws on each side, so you have to take out to basically engage the guardian plate lifting up. Right now it's just that solid plate, there's no movement at all. A lot of customers don't put a fish finder on right away. Me, I got the active imaging transducer down there. Pretty easy to set up, but we do installs here as well. Let's cover this bad boy. So right now, if I try to rotate this forward, there is a safety catch here, just a strap to the boat. And this little bungee right here, the chair, will lock that in. That comes right off. Rotate it forward. Chair pops out really. Pop it back in. I'll put one side down, and you see how that doesn't fully line up, right? The chair is under a little bit of tension, so it doesn't move as much. Yeah. How I put the chair in, I always do the opposite side first, and then just squeeze in a little bit. That side pops in. Go ahead and secure it, and now the chair is not coming out. So I showed you with this is going to be the bottom of the chair. You want to come up, you're rotating away from you, and it's going to have that lock, so I can't go back this way at all. If you wanted to go down, push forward, and you'll have the weight of you sitting on the chair as well, kind of helping that. This side will be the whole back of the chair. Away from you comes up, inwards towards you, reclines it. And then my favorite part of the seat, the lumbar support here. This is a boa tensioner. I was waiting to get to this because you have 2 of these on the boat. So one's for the lumbar support for the seat. Okay. The other one is for any play or slack in the rudder lines. If you want to reset it, I'm just pulling that out. Okay, and this whole back of the chair is going to be loose now. Go ahead and engage it now, and then I'm just going to tighten it, and you'll see this lumbar really start popping out. Just how that one works, this one works the same way. Disengage it, pop it out, and I'm going to go ahead and just drop the rudder real quick. So now I got a loose steering. With these boats in the Arizona sun, it's hot, the boats expand, and that steering is tighter. When it's hot out there, I even just pop mine off. But at night, once the boat gets a little bit cooler and starts to shrink down again, you'll have play in this. So So you're gonna go ahead and push that in, tighten that up until desired for you. If it's ever too tight, pop it out and give the steering handles a wiggle. It'll just free up itself. One more thing that I'll show you just in this area before I take the chair out. Most of the time I'm standing here on these pads, but if you wanted to stand further back for whatever reason, unhook that little loop right there, and then now you have some support. Some customers do the stand-up bar. This is also acted as support. Just lean up against this. You got standing pads here and here. So you have two positions to stand if you want. This is just a miscellaneous bungee. Let me go ahead and make this a little longer. Is if you're in shallow water and you want to stand up and fish, I throw a lot of frogs, so I'll be parked on a grass mat. Make sure those fins are all the way up. Get off, so I just hook it right to there. So that's just a little trick, grass, shallow water. Now we got the drive, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out first. When you take this drive out, there's really one or two ways to do it. You wanna have this directional going straight. That way the fins are straight, that way they can come out of that hole. You got straight forward, pushing that in, and that drive just comes straight out. There's your 360 drive. You throw this in the vehicle, popping it in. I'm gonna make sure this handle is straight. There, you do have a little bit of play in this. That handle's straight now. This is straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop it on in. Tiny shove. Locks in. Leg length adjustment on these. So just whatever feels comfortable for you though. Play around with that. Depending on how you recline the chair or the height of the chair could adjust this as well. So it's just play around with that and make sure your leg is not fully extended after your rotation every time. Just a little bend in the knee. Kick up feature with these. If you hit anything, break right away. To pop them back up, so all you gotta do is start kicking. That's gonna pop right in, lock into place. Cover steering. I'm gonna do this right here. You got two map pockets here on each side. Pliers, cutters, scissors, maps, fishing link maps. Whatever you want to put in there, and just because you will get some water over the side, you don't want to put anything that can't get wet. But so this is the T-handle. Most of the time I'm only using a half a paddle when I launch, and then this goes right in, snaps in. I don't use these back ones right here because when you do have your rods in the side, they could be hitting the paddle and you could definitely move them back more. But what I do with mine, just so you have a full paddle at all times, this side goes in the hole, inside the boat, wedge it in there, you're good. And then this one, I just put right here. And that way, if you're ever in shallow water and you need a paddle real quick, pop it out and you're good to go. So I would just do something like that. If you don't have any attachments or accessories up front, use something just so it doesn't go all the way out. Harder to grab that way as opposed to right here. Do you end up using these? They do have a little bungee keeper. So it's like that. It's a little bit harder to get out. During transport, if you put your paddles there, definitely use that bungee. The little things that make it easier out there. So most of the time, pro anglers were pedaling it or using a motor. But if you ever wanted a paddle, this will just go on in place of the drive, and that's gonna snap in. During transport, it's not a bad idea, but for the most part, this sits in my garage. More rod holders in the back. These are just molded in. If you are gonna use these though, I do recommend getting the rod holder extensions from Hobie. Camera mounts, flags, you can put all that kind of stuff in there too. In the back here, there's a little quarter turn, just like that hatch in there. This would be mostly for just hole access. I don't use mine for much. Rainy day storage, poncho, something like that. My crate's gonna block that anyway, so I'm not putting anything that I need in this hatch. So right here, underneath this plate is gonna be a pulley for the steering. So your steering is gonna come back, it's gonna wrap around a pulley, and you actually have two wires, and that's gonna control the rudder. Minor steering adjustments can be done up here, but unless it's really crooked on you, probably don't want to mess with that too much. And then what else did I not cover? These are just miscellaneous tie down straps, loop. You can rearrange this bungee however you want. So right here, black inserts, a few more down the side there. That's going to be for your anchor trolley. If you wanted to put an anchor trolley on this, just makes it easier down the road if you want to put one of those on the boat as well. Lastly, we'll go to the back. You got two drain plugs right here, and you got these rubber stoppers. I car top mine for 5 years. Every time I go up on my car, I would hit this and then pull it up a little bit more. They're durable. Loading it up in the truck or the trailer, you definitely want to pull it up. You basically stop on those so it can't roll back anymore on you. Owner's manual here. Open it because there are some stickers in there. 3-year warranty on the boat. By the serial number of this boat to your name or system. You got any issues, come back and let us know.